Hi everybody, my name is Harry Jacobs and I am the North of 60 Gamer. Today I'm going to take a quick look at the Core Worlds Empire plus Nemesis Kickstarter. I should also mention that the Core Worlds universe has been around since 2011. It was a deck builder game with two expansions. The designer Andrew Parks, it is probably, in my opinion, probably the best deck builder out there in terms of space and the way it plays. I enjoyed immensely. It's been in my collection for a while, and I'm very happy that Andrew has brought back a new game plus an expansion. The Nemesis is the expansion. It's a solo expansion. That's been one of the interesting sort of conversations that's been around for quite a number of years is how to play this solo. There is a BGG solo game that somebody had designed and had quite a number of followers. But this here is a standalone game featuring Automa. But first, let's sort of dive down into my typical evaluation, which of course is the theme: empire building, space. What could be better? This is also a game of worker placement. There it is. So it is a worker placement game for 1 to 4 players that includes rules for solo play. Each player represents one of the empires that overthrew the ancient galactic realm during the original Core Worlds game. So this takes place obviously after the original Core Worlds game. Core Worlds Empires is a thematic sequel to the original game and its expansions, but players don't need to own the original game to enjoy this one. I highly recommend buying the original game. It is an add-on in this campaign. It is not part of the campaign. So you have to actually pledge for this campaign to get access to the add-ons. Down here we have a picture of what's in the box. I think thematically, I'm looking forward to it. Who doesn't like a space game? I really like a space game. I'm just going to flip over to the rules really quickly here, just to show you a little bit better on top of some of the components here. Let me just go scroll up to the top here. I was looking through the rules. The rules are a little bit wall of textish, so they might be a little bit hard. But I think here you can get a better understanding of what is going on. There's the galaxy map. There's some boards and standees and tokens. They go through. This is quite good, going through one by one of all the different types of tokens, the number of tokens. For us people who really like inventory management, the number of cards. So the rules will probably be good, except I think I'm going to need a video. I am that type of a learner, and there are a couple of videos down below. We'll go show you that in a minute. The board looks like space. There's the setups here for 2 to 4 players. There's your round overview. I think, judging by the round overview, this is going to be a heavier game. But thematically, I like space. I would buy it on the space. Rules, I think the rule book looks a bit heavy, but if it is a Euro style worker placement, it is going to be a bit heavier than his original Core Worlds game, which is quite an easy game to play. But I don't think that's so bad. We'll go through Core Worlds Nemesis is really just a automa with a number of cards to simulate a person. I have not done it yet. I do have it on my table to try and videotape. One Stop Co-op did a review of it or a preview of it, and it worked quite well. And you can see we have a couple of stretch goals. So if we go into sort of replayability, being a typical Euro style worker placement, I think there'll be a ton of replayability out of the box. I suspect at some point there'll be some expansions if I know Andrew Parks. So I'd be thinking that there'll be some expansions probably within a year. So I don't think this is a bad game to get into. Really can't show you what's in the box other than, going back to this picture here and going through the rules a bit deeper. So he didn't spend a lot of time sort of breaking it down on the Kickstarter page itself. So you're going to have to dig into the rules a bit more. I think people who have backed Core Worlds or who would back Core Worlds, the base game, they're going to jump right in here. So I think that anything that Andrew does, somebody is going to jump into without going too much into the component end of it. So, but if you do want to get a look at the components a little deeper, I advise you to go into the rules and look at the components themselves. The fact that there's a solo version of this game, not only for the Nemesis, of course, which is the grand solo for the original base game, but there's also a solo version of this game. I also suspect that Andrew might go out with this to Tabletop Simulator, perhaps. It would be nice. It would be great to see it out on Tabletop Simulator or maybe Tabletopia. We'll have to wait and see whether or not that's something that he is interested in doing. I think it shows confidence in a game, but I don't think Andrew has a problem with confidence in his games. In fact, I don't even have a problem with confidence in his games. Just to take a quick look, really, if we want to look at the game itself, support. So it's an $80 pledge. You get both games. You save about $10. It's going to retail for about $70 US and $20 US, so $90. So you save maybe $10 to buy the game. You can, of course, pledge without reward. You can buy the game separately for $20 and $70, or you can buy a retail pledge. Now, if you just give me a moment to scroll down, you can see there's some previews by The Hungry Gamer, by One Stop Co-op. I haven't seen the Empire's version yet, but I have seen the Nemesis game. There's the rulebook. There's your add-ons. So the add-ons here are really the games themselves. So you can see here's the Core Worlds Mega Bundle, $50. I think that's going to be worth it. Generally, if you want to buy all three on the secondary market, you're looking at about $80 US. So if you're looking to jump into this game, $50, great price. For those who are Dungeon Alliance fans, this is a great way to get the Dungeon Alliance. If you've heard of this game or haven't heard of this game, I advise you to go out and take a quick look at it. It's worth the add-on if you can afford it. It is a great game. It is a deck-building dungeon crawler, unique. Its mechanics. It's a great game. I love it. It has a big following in terms of who plays it. And again, I think that's a good price, $140. Here you go, $180 get you the whole thing. Again, it's about of how much money do you want to spend and how do you feel about this. You cannot play Nemesis without the base game, so you're going to have to buy the $50 base game in order to play the Nemesis solo. So if you have no intention of going solo with Core Worlds and buying Nemesis, then don't buy the bundle here. So the value. Now, I have mixed feelings because there's not a lot of stretch goals. Sorry about that. That's my dog who's under my desk. There's not a lot of stretch goals where it would trigger a fear of missing out. It probably will go to retail. I don't know about Core Worlds itself, whether that's going to be reprinted enough to go to retail. So you're probably going to want to jump on this if you want the Core Worlds reprints as an add-on. Dungeon Alliance, I don't know if you can get a copy of that retail or not. I would suggest again that if you're thinking of that and you've missed the original campaigns, here's an opportunity to grab it if you want it. If you just want the core game itself, the $70 Empires, you might want to wait for retail if it's going to retail, because it's really not offering anything other than the promos. And if you don't really care about promos that much, you may want to wait till retail or the secondary market. However, for myself personally, I'm going to back it. It just makes sense for me. It ticks all my right boxes. I'm a big fan of Andrew Parks. In fact, I can tell you if I went back into my Facebook and you went to the Dungeon Alliance Facebook page, you'll probably see my comments going, Andrew, when are you going to reprint this game? And I've asked him a couple of times over the last 2 years. So this is your opportunity to jump in not only to the worker placement version, but get the base game, the expansions, the solo, and Dungeon Alliance. Thanks for listening. I am Harry Jacobs, the North of 60 Gamer. Appreciate that you're here. If you have any comments, please put it below in the comments. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'd love to hear how you feel about Core Worlds and how you feel about the solo aspect of Core Worlds. So let me know in the comments. Thanks very much.